You know this song. It's one of the most recognizable anthems of the 1990s. An absolute monster of a track that became so much more than just music. It's a pub sing-along, a stadium chant, and, as we'll see, a symbol of resilience. But behind this legendary song, there's a mystery that's been bugging people for decades.
You hear that piano intro, that first line, and you're instantly there. So Sally can wait. I mean, a whole generation knows that line by heart. But here's the thing. It also opens up this massive question that has echoed ever since the song came out.
Yeah, that is the mystery right at the heart of this song. So like, is Sally a real person? Is she a metaphor for something? What's this all about her soul sliding away? For years, fans have been trying to connect the dots.
And look, if you've ever listened to this and thought, wait, what is he even talking about? You are so not alone. I mean, check this out. This is a real post from a fan on Reddit, but honestly, it could have been written by millions of us. That confusion is part of the song's legend.
Okay, so let's do this. Time to put on our detective hats. Let's dig in and see if we can finally solve the great mystery behind Don't Look Back in Anger. Okay, so where do you start? Well, logically, you go right to the source, right? The guy who wrote the words, the chief songwriter for Oasis, Noel Gallagher. He has to know who Sally is, right? Well, hold on. It's not quite that simple. So, as this fan totally nails it, Noel Gallagher is kind of famous for being, well, an unreliable narrator when it comes to his own lyrics. He's gone on record so many times saying that a lot of his words are basically just sounds that fit the melody, not some deep, hidden poetry.
And that really gets to the core of how he creates music. See, Noel's process is all about melody first. He said he just starts playing around on his guitar, waiting for a tune to kind of pop out. The words, the story, all that stuff comes way later. For him, melody is king. And honestly, that probably explains why the lyrics can feel so all over the place, but the songs themselves are just ridiculously catchy.
And he's never been shy about where he gets his inspiration either. I mean, he basically wears his influences on his sleeve. This song is like a masterclass in musical collage. That piano intro, pure John Lennon's Imagine. That line, Revolution from My Bed, he lifted that straight from a John Lennon tape. Even the title itself is a little nod to a David Bowie song. He built this absolute classic using the spare parts of other classics. Genius, really.
Okay, so if the songwriter himself is telling us the words don't really mean anything specific, then maybe the answer isn't about the man, but about the moment the song was created in. Let's zoom out and look at the world this song was born into. You have to remember, this was the peak of Britpop over in the UK. It was this huge cultural pushback against the dark, heavy grunge music that was so big in America. It was this whole vibe of renewed national pride they were calling Cool Britannia. And right at the center of it all, no band was bigger, louder, or more confident than Oasis.
And look, Oasis didn't just join the party. They pretty much became the party. That famous rivalry with Blur? It was literally front-page news, a battle of the bands that the whole country was watching. And yeah, Blur might have won a single battle, but Oasis, well, they pretty much won the war. Their album, What's the Story, Morning Glory, wasn't just an album, it was a cultural phenomenon, and it all led to this massive peak, their legendary concerts at Knebworth.
Now get ready for this number, 2.6 million. That is how many people tried to get tickets to see Oasis at Knebworth. To this day, it's the biggest demand for concert tickets in British history. Think about that. That means over 4% of the entire population of the UK tried to get a ticket. That's insane.
And this quote here just perfectly captures what that moment was like. This was before smartphones, remember? No one was filming on their phones. 250,000 people were just there, totally present, sharing this one massive experience. So Don't Look Back in Anger wasn't just some song on the radio, it was the actual soundtrack for a defining moment for a whole generation.
Okay, so we've got the context, right? We have a songwriter who cares more about the vibe than the actual words, and we have a song that became the anthem for an entire nation at its peak. So with all of that in our back pocket, let's circle all the way back to our big question. Who is Sally?
And this, right here, is where it all comes together. The ultimate contrast. On one side, you've got Noel Gallagher just shrugging it off. It's just a word that fit, you know? And on the other side, you have a fan saying, no, this song got me through tough times, it's therapeutic. So here's the real question then. Does what Noel intended to write even matter anymore?
And this is where things get really, really interesting. Because with no official story, the fans just took over. The theories are wild. They're all over the place. People have basically projected their own lives, their own stories onto these lyrics. Sally became this blank canvas. Is she a cool little nod to the Stone Roses song Sally Cinnamon, like a Manchester inside joke? Maybe. Or is she something way deeper, a symbol of lost innocence, or a story about getting out of a bad relationship? The point is, the vagueness of it all lets everyone find their own meaning in the song.
So where does that leave us? If the writer says, it's just words, but millions of listeners say, no, this song means everything to me, who's right? Well, believe it or not, the story isn't over. This song was about to get a whole new meaning, one that was more powerful than anyone could have imagined. Check out this take from an expert, Professor Samantha Bennett. It kind of flips this whole thing on its head. She basically argues that the song not having a clear story isn't a weakness, it's actually its greatest strength. The idea is that Noel's focus on just what sounds good, maybe even because of his dyslexia, accidentally created this perfectly adaptable anthem.
And that's the magic right there, because it's not about one thing. It can be about anything and everything. It can be about your first love, a tough breakup, your best memories, your biggest hopes. You, the listener, get to fill in all the blanks and make the song completely yours.
And that ability, the song's power to soak up new meaning, became more important than ever. On May 22, 2017, a horrific terrorist attack happened at a concert in Manchester, Oasis's hometown. It was devastating for the city, for the whole country. But in the days after, something pretty incredible happened. So, they were holding a moment of silence in the city's St. Anne's Square. And out of the quiet, one woman just started singing "Don't Look Back" in anger. And then a few more people joined her, and then the entire crowd was singing. And as this Manchester resident explained, the title became their message. It wasn't about the past, it was about defiance, about hope, and about looking forward.
Right there, in that moment, the people of Manchester gave that song its ultimate, most powerful meaning. It wasn't just a Britpop sing-along anymore. It became an anthem of resilience, of unity against hate. It's a meaning Noel Gallagher never intended, never wrote down, but it's now a part of that song's DNA forever.
So the story of Sally and this incredible song really makes you think about art in general, doesn't it? Once an artist puts something out into the world, who does it really belong to? Is it the person who created it? Or is it the millions of us who listen to it, live with it, and pour our own lives and meanings into it, giving it a soul the artists never could have planned? Definitely something to think about.